Today we're going to look at solving absolute value equations. When you have an equation with absolute value symbol, you work it once just the way it's written. So I'll just rewrite x plus 9 equals 20. And then once with the right hand side where you actually change the sign. So if I work the left, I'm going to subtract 9. I get x equals 11. And then on the right hand side, I'll subtract 9 and I get x equals negative 29. I write my answer in curly braces. From least to greatest, I get negative 29 and 11. I always like to say you're going to write one side just positive, the way we did originally, just dropping the absolute value symbols, and then the other side, we're just changing the right hand side to the opposite sign of what's showing. It's important to treat the absolute value portion of the equation kind of like you would a variable. You want to isolate that variable. For example, if I could rewrite this and write this whole thing right here just as a variable we'll call y. This would be 2y equals 20. Before I could actually solve for y, I would need to isolate it by dividing by 2. I'm going to do the same thing here. Get rid of that just so that you can see. I'm going to divide this equation first by 2. So if I rewrite the whole thing down here, I've got 2 absolute value of x plus 9 equals 20. I'm going to first divide by 2. I get the absolute value of x plus 9 equals 10. Now I go back to the same steps that I did on the previous problem. Rewrite the problem exactly the way it's written, and then rewrite the problem not touching the left-hand side, only changing the sign on the right to a negative 10. Solve it, subtract 9 from everything, I end up with x equals 1 and x equals negative 19. Again, I write my answer in curly braces. I'll try to squeeze it in up here at the top somewhere. So I get negative 19 and 1 as my final answer. Let's look at one more. This time I have a little bit more hanging on the absolute value portion of the equation. We've got 2 times the absolute value of x plus 9 minus 2 equals 20. I'm going to start by undoing my addition or subtraction first, so I'm going to get rid of this minus 2 by saying plus 2 to both sides. I have 2 absolute value x plus 9 equals 22. Again, divide through by the 2 that's in front of the absolute value. Get absolute value of x plus 9 equals 11. Then I'll end up solving my equation the same way that I have been. Let me turn the page and show you how that looks. Got absolute value x plus 9 equals 11. I'm going to rewrite it exactly the way it's written. Just drop in the absolute value symbols. And then rewrite it where I change the right hand side to a negative 11. Subtract 9, get x equals 2. So I can write it in there a little clearer for you. Subtract 9 over here. I end up with x equals negative 20. Write my final solutions in curly braces, least to greatest. Negative 20 and 2 would solve this equation. Hope this helps.